agree. And the fact that we're not very good at self-analysis is golden. Very important in sales too, rewatching meetings, etc.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right. We've gotten to the point of our podcast where it's time to do something a little fun, which is a little departure from what we do on a regular basis, which is to look at TikToks, which is obviously fun. I let the Chinese steal my information so that I can share TikToks with the world during interviews. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some TikToks. Some of these are about changing careers, advice, getting unstuck, and you're going to give us your advice. You're going to tell us what your brutal, honest opinion is over what these people are saying. So let me just cue it up. All right.
So, how to get unstuck. Notice when you are stuck, when you get the same thought over and over. Distract yourself. Like if you get the same thought 3 times, get up physically and go do something different. That can be so helpful. And find ways to boost serotonin. Either serotonin mood support can help, exercise can help, bright light therapy can help. When you boost serotonin, you become more flexible and less stuck.
Okay, what do you think about that physical advice there?
Yeah, I mean, I gave some of it earlier. I think I don't have any problem with anything he said. I think there's a lot more to it than that, but that's a good start. And those things are very simple. So I like simplicity.
Yeah, it's true that simple is often good. All right, here's our next bit of advice here.
Things that you find easy should be your first question, not what do you like or what do you want to do or even what do you care about. Those are interesting questions. They're to some extent fabricated in the picture that we paint of ourselves. What do you find easy is a question that's open, and I think most people can find a way of answering that, whether you think you're good at stuff or not. Because I'm not asking you about what your capability is. I'm asking about what do you find easy. Things that you find easy.
All right, what do you think about this piece of advice?
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, I like shaking the can up. Doing something different. That's a different approach. I could argue that, but I don't feel compelled to because I don't think she's incorrect.
Yeah.
I think you should face up to things that you find hard often as well. That's how you get better. But
right.
she's not incorrect.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right, and we have one more here.
How do you get past stuck? Stuck is just a feeling. Stuck is your inability to see past your current struggle. I'm Laura St. John. I'm a celebrity mindset coach. I teach you the steps to get unstuck so you can manifest your dreams faster. Unstuck is also a feeling. Stop trying to take action from point A to move into point B because you're bringing the stuck energy into your decisions. Allow yourself the space to see past, through, or beyond your current struggle. How do you get?
All right, so this is probably a bit more esoteric than some of the other advice that we got.
That's being kind.
I was reaching for an adjective to describe the advice, but
with all due respect to her, I'm sure she's a wonderful woman. That doesn't attract me.
All right, so what is your counterpoint to what she said?
I need more meat. I mean, that's not. She didn't really say anything. You know, your esoteric's perfect. That's exactly what it was.
It was very woo-woo sticks advice, yes.
I guess. That's not. It's not wrong. It just doesn't. I'm sure there are a lot of people that respond to that kind of thing. It's off-putting to me. To be frank.
So, I heard what she said, and part of it, I guess, is visualizing yourself past whatever the sticking point is. I guess maybe there's some utility in, projecting down the road a bit to kind of see yourself in the place that you want to be. If we're trying to find a nugget in some of that very, that cloud of advice, but what role does seeing yourself in a future position, career path, small business, life, accomplished goal play in the decisions that you make today?
I'm a big proponent of the fact that if you can if you can treat that visualization exercise with intention and consistency, then it's extremely valuable. I do believe we can become who we are effectively by practicing who we want to be as if it were happening right now. And there's techniques for that. You can abuse that. There are ineffective ways to do that. But if you get into a groove with visualization, I think it's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, it has to be realistic, right? I assume that's kind of where you were going with that. It can't be, oh, I see myself running this Fortune 500 in the next 15 years, because that may not necessarily be realistic, a realistic path for you.
Yeah, it's a balance between you got to reach big, but you have to be realistic, and that's a kind of a delicate balance.
Right. And I guess that comes down to some of the work that you were talking about earlier that you have to do with self-honesty and transparency about your goals and what you want.
Yep.
So, Mark, where can individuals who are watching this, obviously we have people who are watching this from, around the world who are looking in, who feel stuck. How can they reach out to you if they're looking for advice to get to the other side of their self-doubt, their angst, or their frustration?
Yeah, I think the simplest thing is to find me on LinkedIn. I have a pretty unique last name, and it's my last name .mark at the end of the LinkedIn URL. You can get access to my website from there, my YouTube channel from there. You can get the workbooks there. I even put my phone number in my contact information, and people aren't abusing that. Well, I didn't know what was going to happen, but yeah, I hope I've made myself easy to find. And I also think for anybody who wants to know more without paying anything yet, there's a lot of free stuff on my different platforms that's, I think, valuable.
Awesome. And of course, I will move that information to the description of this podcast on YouTube and on audio version as well. So awesome, Mark. It has been a pleasure. I mean, this issue of being stuck and feeling stuck is it can be crippling to some people, and it's hard for them to move on.
It is.
And so I'm happy that coaches like you who have gone through things, and sometimes it's easy to kind of talk to people who are in the profession, but when you find out they haven't really gone through much, it kind of leaches into their advice. Like they kind of let it leak a little bit that there's not much that they've gone through. But
I try to stay as practical as possible. I try to stay away from theoretical. That's what put me off about that woman. It was theoretical. But anyway, it's been a pleasure, Mike. I really enjoyed our conversation. I feel like we could talk for hours about this stuff.
Absolutely. I find